So first of all, let me just briefly introduce myself. I am from Bangalore. So I kind of studied in Bangalore all of my life. I graduated from Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore in Tata Institute right across here. Yeah. So the reason I wanted to move around is to make me awake, right? It's just been quite a journey since morning. So the thought I thought of bringing to the table, I'm sure you had very esteemed people talk to you along with Mr. Abhishek Singh and others. Amitabh Nag and others. Sorry, Amitabh Nag and others talk to you about the idea of Bhashini. But the idea that you are here to listen to, you may not be appreciating it as much. So I thought I'll just give you a sense of the gravity of this situation right now. So the visual that you have is a moment of phone, mobile phone, that I got to experience in 1990, late 90s, right? So when you have a phone, you are the richest man around if you have a phone, right? And the kind of phones we used to carry are the bricks, right? Those kind of brick phones. It's literally carrying a brick around with a big antenna, like those military phones that you have today. I used to work for Intel in 2097 and stuff like that. The whole office had one phone. Whoever goes out of the office would carry that, and from there you can make a phone call to the office reception. And from there, whoever gets connected. There was only one phone in the whole office, right? So that moment that you see of somebody using of a phone is a non-trivial experience for me, right? There was also a time when people would carry handsets, those Tata Indicom handsets in a bag. So it's like a phone in a bag they carry around and they can talk to each other. So to a generation that you see today, most of you may have not experienced that point of having a phone, even a dial phone, and a mobile phone, and then mobile phone in plenty. But the moment that we have today, from the time I joined Intel, Intel is a computer company, right? The objective of Intel is to make money by selling more computers. But what's the problem with computer usage? Those who know English, those who know technology can only use computers. Nobody else can use computers, right? So how do you crack the market, especially the emerging markets in this part of the world? So first thing, I was in sales and marketing. So it was very important for us to figure out what will break the market. How do you open the market up? So in 99, I thought if all of us can speak to a computer, then I don't have to learn English to speak to a computer. I can speak. And then I will open up the whatever commands and all. So today, we all use, let's say, Alexa to give commands. So the first speech APIs and using it to wake up computer, do some things on a computer, but it was so horrible. Imagine there was a software called Dragon Naturally Speaking, and you dictate into it, half the thing will be wrong. You will spend more time correcting it than more than half, significantly more significant mistakes, right? So the idea that you can speak into a computer is a very novel idea. I studied speech processing in 1993 in IISc, where you can actually listen to a waveform and convert that into English. But when I see even today, when I speak and it makes mistakes, clear 30 years later, more or less. 30 years later, still it is hard, right? So the idea of somebody trying to speak who do not know how to read, well, not very digitally literate. If you go to the next slide, somebody who can actually speak. Go to the next slide, please. Who's controlling? Ajay, are you there? Oh, there. Imagine this visual, right? I can actually speak and make computer do things, breaks a big barrier. Not for us. Many of you may not even appreciate this barrier, right? That's what Bhashini is designed to do. This is the significance of Bhashini. So what is a characteristic of this person, right? This situation that you see. There are 500 million people in this country who cannot operate a smartphone. They have these feature phones, right? Can you imagine their difficulty to make UPI payments? Can you guys get into that frame of mind for a moment to say, the ease with which we pay somebody, if you have a feature phone, what is payment to you? Right? You may have seen them giving some other number. Is their son, daughter, some relative, uska number deke, bas usko payment kar do. Right? Yesterday also, I was coming back from Delhi. The driver, I wanted to pay him. He gave me somebody else's number. I figured he has a feature phone. He does not have a smartphone. Right? And this is life. For majority of the people, what this technology, this idea of a Bhashini enables is a possibility to not to learn English, not to learn technology, to be able to participate in the digital revolution. This is the possibility of Bhashini. Okay? So I'm very excited for this, and I'm working to make this reality. That's my kind of passion and realities that I want to change. So one of the ideas that I'm working on is to help people pay using voice. You know, UPI 123 it is called. UPI 123 is a simple idea. Can I pay Amitabh 500 rupees, right? Pay Amitabh 500 rupees. I can say this, I say it, and the system figures it out, ki, no, this is Amitabh Nag and not Amitabh Bachchan. Okay, so he gets 500 rupees and whatever, right? And Amitabh Nag says, okay, look, I received 500 rupees. Or, we have to figure this out, because there must be many Amitabhs in my contact list, many Harishas in my contact list. So how do you get to this sorted out? So this is something we will sort it out in 6 months. So just as an idea to invite you to that game of sorting such class of problems is this session. I think the purpose of the session is to invite you to such a possibility. So when you see in 6 months that there is a new service launched by NPCI, National Payment Corporation, which looks after all our payments, to say that, look, you can pay somebody using a voice. They have launched it, but they want to, let's say, make it operational for certain languages. That's an area that, a problem to solve for. But the larger idea is, this is a big idea. This idea that we actually can break the digital literacy barrier, language barrier to use computers is phenomenal. So much of the time I have stopped typing. My emails are voice. My summaries in ChatGPT is voice. I don't type into ChatGPT. I speak eloquently into ChatGPT so that I can get whatever summaries I want. But this is the shift in my personal life, trying to use Dragon Naturally Speaking with those headsets to speak into ChatGPT to summarize for myself is phenomenal, just phenomenal, right? And yesterday I was in a school in Delhi, and we met some 20 children. All their experiences were spoken in Hindi into ChatGPT. They were just speaking continuously. And they did not realize that they were getting summarized. I didn't have to make notes. I didn't have to capture any notes, and I just have to be myself sitting there. And this is a possibility that's open for you to build for India, for Indian languages, right? I just came, as soon as I came, I spoke to him in Kannada. I figured that he is possibly from Karnataka, and I figured it. And we could just immediately speak in Kannada. If he was from Hindi heartland, I would not be able to speak Hindi so eloquently, and therefore we would have some difficulties even for me to approach and open up my possibilities with him, right? So this is the India. So I'm sure, right, when you speak in local languages to a person, you actually connect much better, right? So this is the larger possibility of enabling digital-led transformation with the technologies that we are talking about here. So this is the power of the moment here. It's not an API, it's not some hosted service, it's a big moment. In the larger scheme of things, you will be the generation who saw ChatGPT first. Many of us saw many things first, like a steam engine first, to diesel engine, then an electric engine in a railway story, right? Telephone to mobile phone to computer, laptop computer. So I received the first desktop computer, which had a lock behind. You know why? People very, very curious. They will open it up to see what is inside a desktop computer. So I was in IISc. So people would say, it's like a big server or what it is. Why is it so small? What's inside? Where is the CPU? Where is the memory? So people, all these HCL, Wipro people who are all there to maintain, they would open it up. So I would say, no, but let's put a lock behind, because every day I come and switch it on, something is missing. Okay, either a CPU is in a loose position or a memory slot is whatever. So I said, okay, let's lock it and then demo when I open it. So if you want to see a desktop, come and talk to JB, then he will open it up and show you. So we have seen those moments, right? First Linux laptop was booted by me in one of these conference halls in National Institute of Advanced Studies, where I installed it. And I made using open slides, whatever software to say PowerPoint just a software. The damn thing crashed when it came to this is the most stable software. one slide was there, and and at that time switch power gone. It's like this whole thing went died. So I did not know whether power went or laptop went. So then and there were, all the people were Linux conference. We used to have Linux conference, and lots of people know hackers and stuff. So they kind of told what's wrong, and we figured it out. But on an IBM laptop, we installed Linux on the first time in 2000, right? So we have seen those moments. But you are the generation who saw ChatGPT moment, the generative AI moment, like things that's phenomenal stuff, right? So the power of language it is to actually relate to people and make them come closer to technology. Suddenly 500 to 600 million people will be your potential users. Suddenly, right? When NPCI chief was talking about 400 million people will be able to do payments now with this technology, think about that statement, right? What kind of a statement it is to say 400 million people, if we crack it, we'll be able to use it. So that's the opportunity. That's the market we are talking about. You go to the next slide. I kind of want to talk to you about 2 or 3 use cases, but what's the approach that India is taking to get this sorted out, right? We could have had many different approaches to bring language and compute together. But the approach that we have taken in the last 3 years, along with setting up a Bhashini, is to make a DPI approach to AI. Don't complicate this whole thing with DPI and all of that, but DPI essentially is like Aadhaar, UPI, public roads. In public road is a physical infrastructure. Digital mein jaisa Aadhaar Vadhaar hota na, just like that. Digital public infrastructure is something like that. So for AI also, we are taking this approach. India AI mission promotes DPI approach to AI. So if you go to the next slide, in this slide, if you see open source models, data as open, and then hosted idea. So in some sense, we got to be very inclusive in our approach to language. All the variations of what sir was talking about. He introduced himself in Sanskrit. But then imagine all of us introduce ourselves in our mother tongue. Today's morning somebody asked me, can I know how many dialects there are in India? I don't know. How do you find out? From my ISC professor was asking, how do we find out? One way is to find out to talk to everybody. You will get some 20 dialects here only, in this room only, right? So how do you kind of take an approach to make inclusive AI models that represents all population is an approach that we have taken as a country, right? So there is this data in the open. The one initiative that Amitabh ji leads is called the data as a common good. So data Kosh, AI Kosh, which is essentially a data Kosh that can train any model. So this is an approach we have taken. We are not closed. We are not about commercial models. We are about open data, open models, and then that creates possibility for significant new models and innovations to come. Can you go to the next slide? So this is an example of DPIs powering, AIs powering DPI. In Aadhaar, when I started working with Aadhaar, the fingerprint efficiency was very low. Today, face authentication in DigiYatra, for example, is so good. That's because AI is deeply at work. We have been at it from training from 2019 onwards, 2018 maybe. So my colleague Vivek Raghavan has been at it. So AI, there's significant AI in Aadhaar today. So when you do Aadhaar authentication, AI is already at work, right? That's why if you see face authentication is so fast, even though your Aadhaar photo may not be very good, but, right, it still, it works. I'm responsible there. Voice-based payments are, again, another thing I talked about. If you go to the next slide, this is something that is concurrent and we are working on it. Bhashini, so now Bhashini is about AI as DPI. Think about that, right? It's like AI itself becomes a DPI. Tomorrow when we actually have, today we have voice-based models, tomorrow they will move to LLMs in the models. So therefore it will become even more powerful in the way that they will interpret contextual statements. Imagine I say something like, translate this. Today, Bhashini takes sentences at a time. Tomorrow, if I take the whole context and translate, so beautiful, right? This is a big possibility. So there will be a day when one Tamilian, one Kannadiga who are fighting right now about whose language who started which language, they will speak in Tamil, the other fellow understands in English, Kannada, the Kannada fellow speak in Tamil, and they basically do not see any difference. Why? There is a very powerful AI model that's sitting in the middle that understands the context. Very rich languages, both of them are, and both of them, richness not lost in actually translating to the other domain, right? So that's the power of technology, right? And I'm sure, in the morning, Amitabh may have spoken some of these numbers. But as I notice, I am in the middle of some of the projects, I see this working very, very well. where people in all across the country use a service and they speak in their language and get their services. It's brilliant. It's phenomenal. Can you go to the next slide? So I am right now in two journeys. I'll just briefly talk to you about it. My only reason of talking to you is to show you possibilities that I am trying to unlock. There's just two samples. There must be at least hundreds of such possibilities in the market for you to unlock. One, I am using Bhashini Technologies, AI, to make children learn languages better. Those who can read, those who can't read, how do you help them read? Those who can't do basic math, how do you help them do basic math? This is an example, and I basically reverse engineer AI speech models. Simple. A child who can't read, think about this for a moment, okay? Child who can't read, let's say as a 5-year-old, can speak very well, can listen and understand very well, correct? These two are there. Today, about 50%, 60% of our children, even when they're 10 years, 12 years, can't read well. And that, imagine a grade 5, if you remember your own childhood, grade 5 child, how much is there in the textbook? If you can't read, what do you do in a classroom? You get lost in the classroom, right? So a child who can't read, leverage their ability to speak to reverse engineer what they know and what they don't know. That's what I do here. Just to repeat, imagine you are a grade 3 child, you have been taught all the syllables, but you don't remember all the syllables, and you may record some syllables wrongly. How do I know what imagine this is the classroom, how do I know who knows what and who doesn't know what? For a teacher, it's just complicated. How, therefore, I figure out which group needs what help? So I allow them to speak openly, ask them to read. By that logic, I reverse engineer what they are speaking to see which syllables they don't know. That's the power of technology today. After that, now use adaptive AI technologies to direct experiences for them. This is like riding a cycle, right? If I am riding a cycle and suddenly you get a very big cycle, boss, I don't know how to ride this cycle. But if I get a cycle that you alone can ride, which is exactly to your height, seat and all adjusted, then you can start riding. Once you get the confidence and motivation improves, and then the whole cycle continues. So the way we all run cycling, and from cycling, you know ahead, 2 days from now, as compared to wait for the rains to come, and after that we will see. This is the most life. Everybody's life is like that. But if you know, but how do I know? I need to actually have weather, but that means I should know technology. That's not possible. I don't know technology. I don't have digital literacy. So this is a challenge that I'm trying to solve. This solution has been launched in Maharashtra already last week by the Honorable CM. And already I see so many people asking questions such as, when can I till? Now rains have started already. I mean, monsoon has come in already very fast, much sooner than otherwise expected. It's almost 1 month early this time. Okay. So if I have to start tilling now, I have to make decisions in my area. It doesn't matter in Jalgaon where it is raining. It has to rain in my area, near my plot. Then only it's of value to me, right? So those questions I already see people asking, right? It's beautiful. They're asking. They're not typing. They're asking. And Bhashini receives that, responds back to say, this is what the person said, and then an LLM answers the story, right? So this is another possibility I'm working on. This is just the beginning of this whole idea, but I feel that, in a day will come when all farmers in every state will have a solution like this, powered by LLMs. This is just the beginning of it. Okay, go to the next, please. That's an idea. It's called Open AgriNet. That's what Maharashtra launched. It's called Mahavistar in Maharashtra, and there will be another Bharat Vistar that is scheduled to launch in the next 2 weeks. That just is at a higher level, at a country level. Okay. Yeah. So these are the two examples I just wanted to show you. But if you go to the next slide, I think this is an idea that I use. Imagine I can connect all different systems to an LLM using a protocol-based approach. And this possibility I'm showing in agriculture. This can happen in your university. This can happen in any system for a big possibility, phenomenal possibility. We have been used to living in silos with data. Everybody creates their own database. They actually create their own systems and they stay there. They do not actually walk across. So when you actually connect them using technologies and connect that to an LLM, the possibilities are immense. I already see some of that easily happening, right? So that's something that we should unlock. So with that, I just wanted to say that, some of the use cases that we are working on show a big promise, but they're just 2 example use cases of leveraging voice as a technology to unlock the market. When market unlocks and usage starts, it's just a matter of time that prosperity grows. The way we are all moving money so easily, the way we are all moving across toll booths so easily, all of that is leading to prosperity. So similarly, for a significant portion of the population, this is a big possibility, and that I'm committed to support it. I invite all of you to work on this idea and make this better and even better. Thank you very much.